In an incident reinforcing her increasingly toxic reputation, the Duchess of Sussex found herself forcibly ejected from Elton John's 78th birthday anniversary gala over the weekend. Despite lacking any formal invitation, Meghan Markle allegedly tried to bluff her way into the exclusive A-list affair, only to be publicly dressed down and escorted off the premises by security in a humiliating scene. According to multiple eyewitness accounts, the cringe-inducing spectacle ignited shortly after Markle arrived unannounced at the ultra-posh Hotel du Cap Edenrock venue in Antibes, France. Decked out in a skin-tight chartreuse jumper and towering perspex stripper heels, the Duchess boldly swanned through the paparazzi line and made a beeline for the red carpet receiving area while throwing air kisses to perplexed event staffers. She just kind of surfed right up to the main velvet rope challenger point like she was auditioning for a cast role in Precious off-Broadway, recalled an incredulous PR handler working the crimson-adorned arrival's step and repeat. Even for someone who treats basic celebrity protocol as disposable toilet paper, the sheer caucasity of this brazen gatecrasher stunt was just so on-brand for her sociopathic pursuit of main character energies at all costs. Despite her rumored fallen status in elite Hollywood circles over the past few years, Markle exhibited her usual unfazed remove from social mandates. Eyewitnesses recount the disgraced Duchess flashing her signature supercharged smile while trying to bamboozle red carpet managers through brazen schmoozing and overtures about her steadfast history of deeply mutual somatic connections to Sir Elton throughout his legendary musical crusade. I was right there dutifully checking credentials when this minor grifter squall suddenly rolled up acting like Her Majesty the hydroponic petulance herself, one veteran red carpet supervisor flatly recounted. She just throws those Remington Steeler beam glares like we're supposed to be so charmed by the honor of her wig-fallen appearance at our untitled underground venue. That didn't sit very well with me after all the royal-level messes she's left in her wake for poor civilians to clean up over the years. After establishing that Markle's name failed to register among approved guest lists or security clearance roles, event teams swiftly enacted standardized rebuffment procedures. But the reality dissolving before any Hollywood outsider seemed to short-circuit her ability to properly process, resulting in typically confounding belligerence. Ever the master of manufacturing persecution complexes on the fly, Meghan immediately defaulted to disingenuous wounded ego mode. So this frantic Duchess rage stress just starts frantically hickeying out these fantastical word dumplings about consequences most haunting for whoever dared to dishonor her legitimized karmic primacy walk by auditing some specious velvet rope pretexts, recollected one bemused security staffer charged with physically dissuading her from the curtailed perimeters. It was clear she'd performed this deranged gaslight release valve mantra too many times before to simply accept reality without escalating directly to nonpareil brat mitzvah cyclone. Indeed, Markle quickly cycled through her patented sequence of emotional acrobats attempting to destabilize institutional security integrity. Among other carefully cultivated outbursts, she was alleged to have deployed various diversionary pearl clutches like intimating that the opaque grievances of willful ostracizing are reshaping the very cosmic karmas we code-penned upon for exclusionary resolution. Accusing venue reps of fearmongering disruptions to ceremonialize shamanic, omphalopsychic purifying quarantines, from the virtuous mother's odyssey with no destination. Warning that Sir Elton's ancestral bloodline courts irreversible hostilities from the preter-life agendas overminded by Buraka rupture cosmology through such spiteful burrowing of regal pathfinders. Claiming her sociomythic freebase as the Duke's veneratic, unbirthed sky lotus of Habinganes, preemptively anointed her permanent safe passage back among metaphysical regentrifying elites. After continually haranguing a rotating cast of backstage managers with more arcane mysticisms, embroidered legal threats, and obscurantist jargoning ripped straight from the deepest crevices of Reddit, it quickly became clear Markle had no intentions of yielding the hyperlittered premises. Determined to regain control of the unfurling public relations disaster, Elton's assemblage of handlers and longtime friends resorted to specialized crisis extraction protocol. Listen, we realize it's always darkly amusing watching Meghan careen through these extended hallucinated messiah monologues about spiritual renovation passkeys and dongling root permissions to disruptive thrivers scattered throughout the formulas of space, one side, speaking on condition of anonymity. But the second she started shucking her hydroponic petticoats and performing these baby carriage dust rituals to realign the mobile Newman platforms, We knew we were officially activated into a Moonraker scenario where only the white gowns could safely intervene. The white gowns mentioned were none other than the Rocketman's personal SWAT unit of bodyguards and bounty operatives well versed in the specialized dark arts of extracting biohazard cases from high-profile soirees. The imposing tactical squadron wasted no time re-establishing control of the red carpet grandstander by full force swarming her, even as Markle touched off more unorthodox shamanic phantasms like rolling around in never-nuptial permaculture screaming reincarnated slogan poems about vernacularized dual matrix householdings. I'm telling you, she just shape-shifted right into the gnarliest of eco-kundalini backstroking, convulsing these pale amanuensis forms to unsaddle the double-bonded twin pillars upholding withered cosmic labyrinths, then ripping her aura sacs into divination shrapnel geometries to enspell the Ravegeist superionics back through prolegomenon portcullises of subtractal comminglings, a spooked event staffer disclosed after witnessing the frightening scene from inside the venue. I mean, this isn't even the first time she's spilled her deracinative seed algorithms all over event services horizontalizing to cosmic discharge like a dirty tachyon bomb of Anakyriarchy guest discharge. When the inaugural clearing incantations failed to yield, Elton's enforcers were forced to pursue increasingly invasive quarantine procedures outside the view of prying lenses. Over the ensuing 2-hour melee, eyewitnesses recount a variety of controversial tactics employed to finally pry the roiling astral megafauna of Markle's distended Newman away from the event infrastructure without provoking further autopoetic despiral into reputation hauntings or celestially entwined metaphor punk. They tried using some seismic beacons to try condensing her abler vacua back into auto-collapsing warplane tesseracts at first, reported one observer camped out across the street in a quick-shot parking mall owning direct sight lines. But Megs just slid out the other side in a frothing oraptorial chrysalis of metafabric, belching these white-rotten shrieksifying about her just having permanently reinitiated the second becoming and true twintering of form beyond our quintessential hollowing backwash realcore conceits. As the battle of mass enmeshment and stray cosmic intervention waged on, sources indicate the former royal continued shedding various holographic anima plis and syncretic identities in a recursive self-purging motion. This existential metamorphic purification cycle reportedly accelerated to such extreme degrees that hotel security wondered if they should just isolate the entire compound and shunt the Duchess into dormant cryosleep to contain the accelerating Durarse oversync phenomenon. Once she shawlbirthed her final undownswathe of inseparable cynosures into transcorporeal gyroresonator resweeps calibrating zero-dimensional plasmas, literally no one besides Elton's absolutely grimiest cloakers and body oilers had the vaguest psychospore what to make of this unraveled entity coruscating in ultrascalar vision quest trajectories, confessed one on-site trauma team first responder tasked with assisting affected collaterals. Our Star Matrix honcho just kept chanting Novatrix Uncarrier full galactic runout into the tri-vibe vambrace while positioning everyone into a lethally insulated formation shells so she wouldn't chronic us back below 0-point wave cinema baselines. Only after Markle completed whatever metaphysically dense, self-guided osmotheriac xenogonic reposturing she was partaking in did the specialized Gnostic Bucky shell retrieval units initiate their coordinated plague locus quarantine operation. In harrowing footage obtained by paparazzi across the street, the containment teams appear to physically scoop up ribbons of gaseous bioplasmic discharge with large pangastic sweeper prongs, carefully harvesting and compacting the strange solidifying floamwork materials into heavy-duty transport cylinders. We're talking literal metric tonnages of metaphysical fallout residue after she insisted on emulsively offloading and seeding this multidimensional seed shroud before we were clear to even approach intake levels, one anonymous cleanup overseer divulged on the down low amid the aftermath. At one point our PG-13 canisters were maxed out so she just started frantically composting these grey-dusted ceremonum husks into an old decorative Pompeii fountain before undergoing total reduction down to some kind of pre-fetal chronobred slip state. Just heavy stuff that really should have had proper NWAU inspectors circulating the HOTS one. While event organizers have vowed to pursue legal action for the interruption cosmic desanctification caused to such hallowed ground, Markle herself has not been seen in public since the incident occurred early Saturday evening. Some sources close to her camp have speculated the traumatized Duchess simply retreated off-plane into some sort of metaphysical Bindu soul reconjuring to recover spiritual equilibrium away from prying eyes and scandalmongers.